So I know I just put out a gearing guide video the other day, but there has been some new developments since then. There are a couple of new ways to get some really high-end gear, and I need to clarify a few things. So a quick summary for this video. We're going to be covering how to get a 389 ring, a couple of secret weekly trials, and the importance of rare farming. I just finished up getting ready to put this video on YouTube when I noticed that one of the methods I talk about actually got nerfed a little bit. So there were the Trial of Elements and the Trial of Blood, which were both hotfixed this morning. Some people were reporting getting gear out of there which was above 384 item level, and since then, the hotfix this morning, I did go back there and I was trying to see, how bad the nerf was. And after talking to people in there that were getting gear, because I can't do it because I've already did it this week, they were saying that they're getting gear that's in the 375 range. So sounds to me like it was nerfed, but it still wasn't that badly nerfed. In other words, I think it's still a viable way to get some gear. So what are these trials exactly? Well, there appear to be these weekly events that you guys can do where you kill a bunch of enemies and then just loot a chest afterwards, and that chest is going to have a nice piece of gear in there. The item level of said gear is about 10 item levels higher than your character's average item level. But like I said, they did hotfix it this week, so I think the cap on it now is actually like the 375-ish range. I don't think they're going to be going any higher than that. But the truth of it is I'm hearing conflicting stories, so some say that it's nerfed really bad, but like I said, I checked it earlier this morning and people are still getting 375 item level gear. So again, I still think it's worth doing every week. Now, there's two locations for this. The first one is in the Yanaran Plains at this location here, and the other one is in Thaldraszus in the future time. Keep in mind, to get to the second one, you guys need to take the portal here to access this area. Now, both locations are going to be pretty full of players, so I would suggest getting into a group to get a tag on this. It appears that the respawn timer for both of these events is anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. And one last thing to keep in mind about these trials is that you guys don't want to do these while you're leveling or under 360 item level, because like I said, the gear that you get out of these rewards is based off your character's equipped item level. So I would say wait until you're at least like in the 360 range or higher to start these. Otherwise you're going to get, let's say you're 320 item level, you're going to get like a 330 piece of gear out of there, so there's really no point. So wait until you have the higher item level to do these. The next one is how to get a 389 ring. Now there are 3 rings that you guys can get, one for tanking, one for healing, and one for DPS. To get these rings, you need to head over to the Cobalt Assembly located in the Azure Span, right here on your map. And then you're going to pick up the quest, Welcome to the Assembly, and make sure that you complete it. Keep in mind, you guys need to be level 70 to do this. So after you finish the quest, all you're going to be doing is grinding mobs in this area. And it's going to take a bit of time. Some people are saying that it's anywhere from an hour to 2 hours max to reach the maximum reputation you need to buy these rings. As you kill the mobs in this area, they will drop these glowing orbs. And you click on them and they're going to give you Torghast-like abilities. And yes, they do stack and you can become super powerful. So make sure that you stay in this zone, otherwise you will lose the powers. And then the last way to get gear is by farming rares out in the world. Rare mobs reset daily, so it's a nice passive way to get gear every day. Now, normally in previous expansions, gear off rare mobs was actually hard capped, but in Dragonflight, they do scale a little bit based off your item level. Now, there is actually a real hard cap on this, and I believe it's 378. So once you do boost your item level high enough, this is actually a better way to get gear over Mythic Zeros. The only downside to rare farming is that they don't actually guarantee gear in the first place. Sometimes they just don't drop anything other than currency, and then the other thing is sometimes they're not going to be dropping gear that's itemized for you. For example, if you're a mage, you might get a bow or something with strength on it. But before we get into the last part of this video on how I would do this on a fresh character, I would just like to ask you guys to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's a ton of info out there on Dragonflight, and I'm doing my best to cover it all for you guys to help you stay informed about everything. So with all of these methods of getting gear, I would say the best way to do it is when you hit 70, do normal and heroic dungeons, maybe buy a few cheap pieces of 340 gear off the auction house, because those ones are actually pretty cheap because everyone's flooding the market with them, and then go get that 389 ring. Next, do Mythic Zeros, and then after that, farm rares until your item level is about 360 or higher. Then go do those trials that I talked about. Now, if you want to get super min-maxy about this, I would keep farming rares every day and save the trials until the very end of the week to get, the highest item level possible before doing them. But again, you really don't need to do that. That's just super tryhardy. So I would just say do the trials after you're about 360 or higher. So I think that'll wrap up this video, guys. I just wanted to get this quick update out there and kind of update my last video. Blizzard seems to not like how fast people are gearing up right now. So I just want to put this out there and say, At any time, they can't hotfix or change any of these methods that I've talked about. And the people that were doing the trials before it got nerfed, the guys that got those 386 pieces of gear, Blizzard didn't take those away from them. So what I'm saying is, take advantage of these things right now, so if they do change them in the future, you're going to still have that gear. And for anyone that's worried, no, this is not an exploit or anything like that. You're not going to get banned or in trouble for doing this. This is all totally legitimate. And thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.